Good morning. I'd like to first thank Dr. Bo for allowing me this opportunity to speak to you about a very important and near and dear subject to my heart, leadership. My name is Andre Melvin, and I serve as the Senior Director of Market Access at Lantheus Holdings, which is a radiopharmaceutical company. And I also serve as an adjunct professor of health economics at Texas Tech University's graduate school. What is my definition of leadership? Right, I often ponder this question, and I think I've come to the resolve that leadership, in my opinion, is to influence, inspire, and help others to become their best selves, building skills and achieving goals along the way. And I also think that it's equally important that a leader creates an environment to where individuals feel comfortable enough to speak up. So psychological safety is also a very important part of that from my perspective. What are the traits? What do I consider to be essential to be an effective leader? And there are a few. I would say first, one would need to be an active listener, right? A good communicator. Ethics is at the very top of the list, right? Without ethics, you're doomed to fail. Being an influencer is certainly important. It's one thing to have positional leadership, right? But it's another thing to have influential leadership. And I would say that influential leadership is harder to master than positional, right? Because it's just different. And as leadership students, I'm sure that you're aware of that. The willingness to stand alone. Right? As a leader, you have to be willing to take the road less traveled sometimes. Sometimes the individuals that you lead, may think you have the wrong answer. But if you, as a leader, you think you have the right answer, then you have to be willing to stand alone. And then I guess the final piece for me would be for a leader to be calm. Right? The last thing the last person that an individual wants to follow is a person or a leader that is, for lack of a better term, spastic, right? Inconsistent. It's important for leaders to be calm, to be measured. So what is my approach to leadership and what is my leadership style, right? I will start with the latter question first. What is my leadership style? My leadership style is it would be best defined as a servant leader, right? Putting others first, putting their needs first, understanding their needs, and then actively listening, and then, using that relationship to actually create an environment to where everyone feels comfortable to contribute, right? We get the most out of people when those individuals understand that we care about them. Yes, we have the company to take into consideration, right? As a former military officer, we used to say, mission first, people always, right? You got to have the people part in order to accomplish that mission. And so as a servant leader, when my employees feel that I am looking out for their best interest, they're very appreciative of that, and it's easier for me to communicate to them those things that need to be done, and they appear to be a lot more willing to execute on those expectations. What is my approach to leadership? It's situational, right? There are different leadership styles, but I believe that as a leader, you have to be able to do different things in different situations. Sometimes you have to be more authoritative, you have to be more directive. Other times you can be more participative, right? So it really does depend on the situation. And so my approach will depend on that situation. So what are some of the joys in leadership in pharmaceuticals that really drives me to be a better leader? And this doesn't necessarily apply just to radiopharmaceuticals or pharmaceuticals, but it also applies to other organizations. But what I like to see most is colleagues win. I love to see my people really work towards a goal, do all the things that they have to do. They make the sacrifices, And then at the end of the day, they win. There's nothing greater than seeing that happen and enjoying that with them and their family. So seeing others do well would be, my greatest joy. Now, on the flip side, the challenges of leadership in pharma is the same as in other places as well. People, right? Anytime that you have individuals coming, very bright individuals, they have differing personalities, they're a diverse group, they're bound to have divergent perspectives, right? So as a leader, you have to make sure that you're managing the environment where those divergent perspectives can come out without upsetting the rest of the group. So sometimes that can be a challenge, right? And that's what I'm seeing here on the pharma side. And then what advice do you have for other leaders? I would say don't be afraid to say no or give pushback in a productive way, right? You have to hold individuals accountable and you have to hold yourself accountable first, right? I would also say be organized and prepared, right? The last thing that any subordinate will want to see is an unprepared leader. And then I would say follow the Eisenhower matrix. And I'm going to shift a bit. And I am going to, I did this myself, y'all, so please forgive my poor handwriting. But the Eisenhower matrix is important when it comes to decision making for several reasons, but I'll orient you to the chart. At the very top, you see there's urgent, not urgent, right? And on the left axis here, you see important and not important, right? So this box in the upper left-hand corner, those are the items that you do. This helps you with your prioritization, right? These are the things that you do now. For example, I have a board meeting tomorrow that I have to prepare for. I have to do that now. Those items that are not urgent, but are important, such as exercising, family and friends, long-term business strategy, you do those, right? You decide to do them. You just have to make sure that, you allot the time to do them. Urgent, but not important. These are items that you delegate, right? Approving comments, answering certain emails. Yes, it has to be done, but you can have one of your subordinates to do that. And then for those that are, for situations that are not urgent and not important, delete it, right? Just eliminate it. Watching TV, checking social media, those types of things, you just eliminate those, right? And what this chart overall is designed to do is just to help you as a leader prioritize what's important versus what is not important. What's urgent versus what is not urgent, right? Urgent things are things that you react to, right? Those things that are important regardless of the time frame, right? So it's important for you to at least exercise being able to prioritize what you need to do in the manner that you need to do it in a timely manner, right? So that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much. I apologize for the long, conversation, but I hope that you got something out of it. Thanks so much. Take care.